Alright, hello people who click things on the internet, because I can only assume that is how you got to this here video. But I get a few questions, and by a few questions, I mainly get one question. And I frequently post on the stand-up comedy subreddit, and people will ask me, how do you write stand-up comedy? And to which I respond, so yeah, but in all seriousness, today in this video I'm going to teach you guys how to write stand-up comedy. And I'm going to teach you guys the way how I write it, and it's not necessarily the best way. It's not necessarily guaranteed to work, and it's not made me a millionaire. But it's a method, and it's a way to do it that has worked for me and might work for you, so you might as well listen here and give it a shot. Because surprisingly, writing stand-up is not that difficult. It's not that difficult to make people laugh. Sometimes I'll just walk up on stage, and depending on the mood of the audience, whether at an open mic or a comedy club or a show, the audience is going to be already like jovial and happy, and they're going to be ready to laugh. And so you can just get up there and you can just make a bird noise, people start laughing. But in this video I'm going to give you guys a bullet point list of tips I have for writing stand-up comedy. And along with this, I'm going to be doing a series where I write stand-up comedy. I'm going to write through the alphabet A to Z, so every episode I'm going to type a letter into Google. So I'll type A. The first word that pops up will be my topic for the stand-up set, and I will write a stand-up set and either deliver it on camera or maybe go to an open mic and deliver it. So yeah, that'll be that series. But today I'm just going to give you some simple tips I have for writing stand-up comedy. The first tip I have is write about something relatable that a lot of people are going to understand. Because if you write about something completely foreign, say you write about something that you're really obsessed with, but maybe not a lot of other people know about it, it might be hilarious to you, it might be a great joke in all honesty, but since they don't understand it, they're not going to laugh. So you need to write something that's very relatable and that many people are going to know about. What I like to do when I pick out a topic that's relatable is, for example, I'll tell you about my stand-up set where I talked about going, what did I write about? Bad handwriting equals intelligent stand-up set. So that is a set I wrote in 20 minutes, and I'll link to it in the description below if you guys want to watch it. I performed it. The video on my channel is just at an open mic. I performed it. So once you have your topic, I like to think about the process. So with that set, I was talking about bad handwriting and how it equals intelligence. And so I like to associate words. So what is associated with intelligence? You're smart, that's a synonym, but you're smart, you go to college, you spend lots of time in school. Intelligent people usually have good jobs, so like they're a doctor, lawyer, something that pays high, successful in life. And then bad handwriting is a contradictory term to that. And so bad handwriting, when you think of bad handwriting, you think of someone who is maybe not the smartest, you think of someone who isn't the best at things, who doesn't have everything put together. So I was picking apart each side of this theme of bad handwriting and of intelligence, and I tried to find things they have in common. When you're writing stand-up comedy, you want to find the things in common, and that will really bring everything together and make it more of a coherent set than just a bunch of random jokes strung together. Because you never just want to go up there and just tell like a bunch of knock-knock jokes or something. And so I was thinking, and I was like, isn't it a common thing that doctors have really bad handwriting, right? Yeah. And that's actually where this whole set stemmed from, is the fact that doctors have really bad handwriting. That's where I sort of got the idea for the set. I'm sorry if I didn't mention that earlier. But, so I was thinking doctors have really bad handwriting, yet they're so intelligent. And so when you go for a doctor's visit, you're looking and you're trying to read what the doctor's writing down, but you can't make it out. You can't read his handwriting. And like, you'd think he'd have good handwriting, you think he'd be intelligent because he went to school and stuff, but it's not. It's just something very relatable, and it's something to string sort of a storyline together, and you can add jokes in there as well. A joke I included in this one was like, when I just sort of made a joke about going to the doctor's office, because no one goes to the doctor's office frequently. No one just like calls up the friend, hey, you want to go to the doctor real fast? You want to check our blood pressure? Like that's not a thing. And so I just made a real joke about going in for the doctor's office, and I said, you go in for your bi-decadely checkup, And it's just something simple like that. But you can throw the jokes in as long as you have a coherent storyline and you can start to piece things together. That's one of the big tips I have, is just find things in common to string a storyline together. And then once you figure out more things in common, you can get more in-depth with your jokes and you can get further into the storyline. Whatever you think's funny, just go for it, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Go perform it at open mics. You'll perfect it over time. Just get something together and it'll improve the more you perform it at open mics. It'll improve the more you perform it for other people, the more people you tell it to, and you'll see how it does, and you can tweak it based on audience reactions. And that's sort of a big way of how you can perfect stand-up sets. You have sort of a rough outline, sort of an idea, a rough draft, if you will, of like an essay. Like, you know, the rough draft's the general idea of what you want, and you present it to your teacher, right? So your first stand-up set that you perform at open mic is sort of like a rough draft. You're just testing it out on random people and hopefully making them laugh. It's important to not be a perfectionist. Just whatever you think is funny, go for it. And another tip I have for writing stand-up comedy is to include a part where you do crowd work. I know a lot of comedians who will go up and they'll do crowd work immediately. Like they'll walk up on the stage and immediately just start doing crowd work, and I love that. I think it's a great idea. If you can do that, go for it. But when I was first getting into stand-up, I wasn't very good at just walking up there and just like finding something funny in the crowd or calling someone out in the crowd for a joke or something. I wasn't good at that yet. So what I would do is have a part of the set where I ask an audience member a question and it sort of gets the conversation flowing between you and the audience. So with the bad handwriting set, I went up and somehow in the set I got on how if you can think about an animal without a tail. And so I went up to an audience member and I was like, can you name an animal without a tail? And I just thought this was funny. I included it in the set because when I was writing it, I couldn't think to save my life of an animal without a tail for whatever reason. So I asked this audience member, and he's like,
can you give me an animal without a tail?
Oh, no, I don't know.
I guess that counts, because that's how I got was like frog, and I was like sitting there for 10 minutes. I couldn't think of any animals without a tail. I don't know.
It's pretty funny because snakes are just like one giant long tail. Of course, snakes have a tail, and like he couldn't think of any. The best thing I came up with was frog, but it gets a conversation going with you and the audience, and it creates sort of a more personal feeling. It makes you more relatable to the audience. It'll make you come off more charismatic and overall funnier. So yeah, those are a few tips I have for writing stand-up comedy. I hope this helped in any way. If it did, be sure to leave a like, maybe subscribe. If you want to keep up with my content, I'm going to be doing this stand-up comedy writing series where I write alphabetically, A to Z, using Google to give me those themes. I'm just going to write away and perform at open mics and see what happens. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.